that. Nothing more, nothing less. You wanted him, right? King of Scotland. Yeah, everybody's got one. King of the Scots. It's who I am. What does it mean, lad? Do you know it? The stories, the legends, the tales. That word says it well, I think. Anyhow, here we are. Can't help it, man. It's like that it was, and here I am. So this is what I can do. What can you do? And prove it. It's a game we can play, And by this, get really good ab muscles. I'm telling you, man, if you can laugh at yourself, strong abdomen. Anyway, King of the Scots. Oh, we see him. He's everywhere, right? Depends. Whose side are you on? Well, that's what that's all about, right? Oh, man. Think of the day. Think of the hour. Today. What is it? It's Valentine's Day, lad. Where'd you get it? Was it like a Cupid with a bow and an arrow? Who gave it to you? Was it sold? Or purchased? Because they'd have you believe it, The admin, the madmen, the kings in the courts. That it's a trick. And they made it up. They sold it to you, and therefore they own you. Deep down, you know anything about rabbit holes, man? Rabbit holes, rabbit trails, wiggles, Wiggles are words that come out in poems. Anyway, oh wait. Tres. Stick to the power. Remember, eat. Right now, it's time for King of Scotland. How'd you get hot, lad? Well, I'll tell you, from the lady of the lakes, and she held aloft, with her arm clad in the most shimmering of samite. You guys know that one, right? Monty Python, eh? So all the stories, they're already all there, all over the place. No need for Uncle Mike and his face. Anyway, You got you. I mean, for me, it's a must. You know, the laughter. Otherwise, okay. But the King of the Scots, all over the place. Think of a movie like X-Men, all of them. I tell you, a great one, great place to start. It's called Hellboy, right? And there's so many parts there in that movie, so many pieces, you know, pieces like symbolic art form, right? And there are some great storytellers in the land, right? But there's no king. Nobody cares to listen. Gotta have it, the great Scot. In whatever way. So, try this on for size, yeah? There's so much, so much. When you think of Scotland, what do you get? Like passion, stubborn. I mean, stubborn for it. And it goes through time. Because what are you gonna do with a guy like that, huh? What are you gonna do with him? I mean, seriously, you gotta send him to the Highland. I mean, really, where else? At least in the Highland, the sound travels up, doesn't come down to the lowland and disturb us, you know, with that infernal racket, man. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's a bagpipe, eh? The bagpipe, what is that? I mean, really, where are you going with this, lad? Well, I told you already about the pieces and parts and some symbolic things. We got art, right? The ball and the bell and the blade, those. What you have before that, you know, when you're just walking around, kicking the stones with your toes, before you made a pair of shoes for them, you know? Early pursuits, notes, melodies, and scores, right? The score. Did you hear it? Did you hear the score? At the end of the performance. I mean, you were watching the Olympics, right? Didn't you see the skaters on the ice? So it's about scores, yeah. Score. And the word can be used so artfully. The verse. Where were we at? In which story? All of them. Let's focus for a moment on a bagpipe now. What is that? What are you doing with that, son? You know? Because Because a bagpipe is this. It's a bellows, or a pump, and some tubes, and a valve. Pretty much. How would you make that? From parts, man. It's, before you had technology, before you had the machines, you just had pieces running around. You just had to catch them. You know what I'm saying? And use it all well, right? Don't let anything go to waste. Explore. So you can start to understand where the bagpipe came from. Goat or sheep, right? Pieces of them. Lungs. And of course the larynx, man. The larynx, the voice box in the throat, can make amazing melodies, no? So you understand where the bagpipe came from and kinda, right, how love evolved. Because pretty much Ma, she just wants the muscles and the fat for the stew, and the rest to the compost pile, back to the earth. Especially the blood, you know, the blood of the animal. When you cut it out and you drain it, it's the best fertilizer, you know. So sometimes we get bored, especially when we don't have an Xbox or PlayStations. Got to get creative with what we got around us, right? So we make a bagpipe. That's right. Check it out, please. Let me see if I can touch it. Right? Like Tarantino did. Did you see it, you know, in Dusk Till Dawn? What a twisted show. Did you see the bagpipe, lad? The instrument made out of meat, you know. It's hilarious if you're looking. It's everywhere. Just, can you say it well? With some laughter about it. Anyway, that's the bagpipe, and so you can probably figure out from there how that whole thing unfolded. When the king of Scotland, you know, looked at his lad and he said, "What are you doing there, son?" "Well, daughter of mine, what you got going with that, that's an instrument, eh? How do you play it, though?" "Well, a couple of bones and some tendons. Cause compression to the lung. And I make the goat cry out." Wow. So you can imagine, you know, what this may have done in the community roundabout. More or less, it would end up like this. It's like, "Look here, McLeod. You make that kid stop or you're out, you know? I said, fine. To the Highlands we go. My family and I. Right? So his kid could learn to play the bagpipe. That's funny. Love. I don't know, you ever think about it? The stories are all around you. Hellboy, that's a great movie, you know. So much symbolism there. Through and through. The characters, the names, and you can plug them into what you already know. If you dare, go there, right? Because once you do, it's going to work both directions, right? The transmission. So anyway, of course, always I promise you the story of the star, Mabel and Nick, the sun and the comet. That is the story. It's upon us. I already told you at the beginning, mostly. How they met and how they got friendly. Send some signals. Flash some lights. Mostly ask permission. Mother, may I? And be clear. Or be crafty. Use mirrors. Why not? They're there. And you know the end as well. Comet Ison. Where did it go? Sucked into the sun. And we can ponder from there, like, well, was it the end of the comet, or did it just change form, you know, once it entered? Of course it did. Doesn't everything? So we got that story to tell. The grand tale. Mabel. Hellboy. He had one big hand, didn't he? Just on one side. What would that represent? I know everyone thinks like party, political party. That's why his right hand is huge. The truth about that is actually a little bit more surprising than you might believe. So we won't get into the meat just yet. We'll just sit for a minute with the King of Scotland. I tell you. Yeah, well, which part? Because there's kings of Scotland all over it. More or less. And then drawing circles. This is my land. Don't even approach it. Or do. But understand. I know it. Then I'll teach it to you, If I'm most, and I'm hoping that you got it from somewhere in your past. Right? King of Scotland. It's fine. Depending on how close together we start living, you know? Like physical proximities, things like that. Right? Anyway, did you catch the Olympics? You know? The figure skaters. Ha! That's beautiful to watch. What a performance, no? I mean, and those kids were not kids anymore, you know? Not little kids anymore. The gold medal winners. So it's nice, very, very nice. And did you catch the costuming? You know, the subtleties of it. Did you notice the garb they were wearing? Looked primitive, didn't it? And then, did you pay attention to the score? The music that was playing, we refer to it as such, the score. Composure. I mean, some people will recognize the notes there. From when? Because, of course, was Jesus Christ superstar Andrew Lloyd Webber. Okay, alright, sure, it was, yeah. That's a good one right there, man. That is a good one. Yeah, because anonymity is like this. Just let it be said, you know? Anyway, probably, maybe not everyone who is watching this could even follow this. Just probably some of my family. Anyway, I found it to be appropriate, okay? And the Germans, you know. Well, that couple could skate, too. Very, very impressive. To watch. Just beautiful to watch somebody who has dedicated some hours to something. Can't deny it, you know. That's nice. And we like it, right? Any more or any less or... How's the bathwater, right? Anyway, and it goes on, right? The story, the song. And if you have too many repeats, it just becomes, I don't know, like the same three marches or something, right? Without creativity and lies. Actually, that's the best way to say it. What is a word? Little bits and pieces, different sounds. Where'd you get them? How long have you had them, right? Which parts? The old ones, the right? What's another one? What does that mean? Everyone knows. From mama. And? Another? Sounds. No vowels. No vowels. Not yet. Right? Didn't have them yet. But still had mnemonics and communication. No vowels, though. Not yet. Old stories, right? Old legends. Old tales. Where'd they go? The tales. Ay, ay, ay. We grew thumbs, right? Anyhow, it has a lot to do with it, you know. The what? The what? And the who. Right? Because, you know the joke? Mike Myers, he told it, you know, the joke. Or am I? Sphincters says what? What? Anyway, you might not get my sense of humor at all. Either way, it has begun now. It has begun. What? What? The apocalypse. No? Are you sure? Depends if you keep listening, right? I mean, I told you several times, if you've watched any other of my episodes, turn it off, don't listen here. Or do, it's your choice, right? You were not tricked. No, there's no poem that you could just stop listening to. Free will, always. Anyhow, the apocalypse. What is that? What it means is lifting of the veil, right? Lifting of the veil. Well, in a wedding ceremony, the bride wears a veil, and after the ceremony, they lift it up and have a kiss, and so it is locked. The lifting of the veil, depending on your culture, is quite substantially different, you know? Because if they've been under a veil their entire life, and nobody knows what they look like, except their eyes, you know, the burqa, and all that, and apocalypse now, right? We've all got stories, right? Legends, tellings, you know. This one's an apocalyptic tale, told by the King of Scotland. And the king is wise, he's crafty, you know. He's been there a long time. Long time. I mean, think about it. When it comes to it, what is Scotland Yard? Scotland Yard. The bullpen, right? King of the Scot controls the bulls. You know, in this country, America, we'd call them pigs or something sometimes. And a little bit different, but the cops. give it to the Scots, you know, when it comes to societies, and because they are passionate, you know, and they don't take kindly to certain things, right? We don't care so much about what things. It's just that fire that we desire to hold like a ring. If only, right? If only they could. Then they could do something with this world. It's funny, right? Anyway, we should talk about the flower. Right? Flower. Flower? What is it? A flower is a bud. Sometimes turns into fruit, right? It comes from the earth. And if you didn't have language and all that, if you were drawing a picture for someone that you didn't speak to with your tongue, right? You just knew, okay? So you draw a picture of a flower. How would you make it? Very simple, you know. It would look like a swastika. That's what it would look like. It would look like a swastika. The picture of the flower. Okay? So don't be too scared now. It's just a symbolically drawing with lines a representation of beauty of some kind. And so that symbol becomes powerful, you know, and fearsome. And horribly misused, right? Anyway, but the flower, what can you do with it, lad? So much. Which one, right? Which flower? Which plant? Certain plants. Check it out. Grind them up, turn them to powder. Or make it a pie. Or the cake, or whatever. Flour. It's nice, right? Grind it up into flour. All different grains. What do you need for that? You need a millstone. Eh? A great millstone. Big, huge, heavy stone to roll over another flat stone and crush flour. To crush the flour down into powder so we can use it for shepherd's pie or whatever we are making up, you know? Gotta have the millstone or individual effort, right? Small stone, and but to do it in volume for a clan, right? For wow, now there's a lot of them. We figured this out. Assemble production centers, call them farms. Just combining a lot of gardens together for efficiency. So the flower is very useful and powerful. But always there is this. Always. Like the skull. Do not forsake the oil. You got it. The oil. Hey, everyone thinks that. But the oil, where do you get that then? Same way as the flour, under the millstone. But with the seeds, no? Smash the seeds, extract the oil. It's more difficult than you might think. But if you can accomplish it, through genetic engineering, I suppose. I mean, that's the beginnings of botany, cross-pollinating, and nothing unnatural, right? Just playing with the environment around us, not down on a genetic level, just pollinating things and changing the crops that are available, right? A sunflower. Do you know what a sunflower looks like? Oh, it's really nice. Beautiful, even. That's not a natural thing. Selective breeding, just for big juicy seeds to crush into oil, right? The sunflower, right? There are much more natural plants that produce seeds in so much abundance when done correctly. It would blow your mind at the amount of resources you can get from this flower, right? Seed it. Do not forsake the oil. Believe it. I figured, it would be appropriate, considering the portions of this composure. We are at 1 right now. This is number 1. This is the very first of the 7. Well, if you got eyes, see. If you got ears, hear. If you got knowledge, this will be hysterical for you, man. I mean, you... Anyway, that's pretty much it. King of Scotland. Bagpipes. Love. Devotion. Right? Everybody thought ownership. No. Devotion. Anyhow, I'm sure there was more that I was supposed to tell you with this one. I guess we can get back to Nick and Mabel then. Just a little bit more of that story. Because where I left you last time, well, you're wondering about jelly. Right? What's the jelly? Just keep listening. Just keep listening. But with Nick and Mabel, they established some communication. And Nick is gonna help. He's gonna help her. Bring it to fruition. Her desires, right? And you remember her requests and what he said to her, right? He said, look, perhaps, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure it's contained within your mass, right? I'm not sure you get it all in you. But, of course, there is the community resources. And I'm glad to loan you some, or perhaps it ends up being an exchange in the end. But at this point, we don't know for sure. everything you got in you. We just know relative mass, right? And she says, great, no problem. I like it. Prepared, because she knows her poem is never quite been done, okay? And we can relate to the raven. The raven is the builder, right? How did he form the earth? Chipped it from stones. Well, more or less, because you have to think about it. How you describe to someone, well, what is create? All that means is take a rock or a tree or whatever and manipulate it. And now it is my creation. Or bones, right? Or organs or whatever. Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. A flute. Bone makes a nice starting point for one of those. But how would you describe to him? Well, to create something means, usually it means you whittled on it, or you chipped on it, or you removed something from it. If you're working with natural surroundings about it, right? Nothing to compare it to. So you simplify the tale to the listener. That's you. So you got the great raven, chipped the earth from the rock. Well, if you allow a little freedom of interpretation of words, chipped from the rock could also mean formed from it. I formed by combining, not just chipping out with a hammer, but combining together. Just a fine-tuning of the raven, chipped from the rock. Now, it was more of a metallurgical process, which, when this story was told first, nobody knew anything about metallurgy. Do you know how long it took to put the stone in the fire? Oh man, that scared them bad. Put the stone in the fire. They did crazy things. Put the stone in the fire. Yeah, so we can understand. Or laugh. Hopefully laugh. Right? If nothing else, it Uncle Mike. What a nut job, Millstones. Flour. The dates. Today, it's Valentine's Day. But the date on the title, and notice the hour. The sun has receded and the moon is out now. Did you see it last night? Oh, beautiful, no? The moon. Get a good look at it. Trust me. It does not look the same when viewed on a screen. Not the moon. Sorry. Just not gonna happen. look at the moon. Howl it if you have to, or if it draws you, if you feel it, you know. But for the sake of Mabel, alright? Don't be too loud. Don't scream accusations or all of that. Let's just hold on to them for a second. I mean, I understand, okay? You want to talk about vengeance. Vengeance. And repayment for crimes? I mean, tales from Scotland will blow your mind. But it's not like that anymore. Or maybe it still is. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. Something is going on right now. I can see it, can't you? I mean, it's there. It's right in front of us. And it's good news, eh? Okay, so just you wait. I mean, this is just one character, right? This guy, great Scot, King of Scotland, aye, and love. I mean, you gotta understand about the King of Scotland. I mean, you know exactly what people think he is. I portray him to be superhuman or something. He's not. Anyway, there's a lot of characters in the plays. I don't have the gift for it, you know. Talk to Shakespeare about that. He'll teach you some things. But Uncle Mike, he's just good for a laugh. So that's pretty much it. Happy Valentine's Day. Right? Or whatever you see this as. Okay. Good night and sleep well. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Listen up. Space rocks. You're gonna like.